Hello mga students, magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, magandang hapon at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Pag-usapan po natin sa video lecture na ito ang PFRS 5, which is Non-Current Assets Held for Sale. Class, no, makikita po ninyo dito sa ating title, maliban, no, except for discontinued operations. Kasi po, ang standard on PFRS 5 not only covers the non-current asset held for sale but also yung mga arising from discontinued operation. So, we will not cover the entirety of PFRS 5, but probably soon, no, I will be making a separate discussion presentation on discontinued operations. Okay? So that is our scope limitation in this video lecture. I will only be discussing the non-current asset held for sale. Okay, now, bakit siya non-current asset held for sale? So una, para masagot po natin ito, let us study and include the objective of PFRS 5. Okay? Um, Class, no, kasi I have lifted the paragraph 1. So nakasama po dito yung presentation and disclosure of discontinued operations. And in fact, no, even on the disclosure side, sa bandang huli ng ating standard, may mga disclosures din po doon on continuing, may discussions po doon on discontinued and continuing operations. But again, as I've mentioned in the scope limitation, hindi po natin yan i-include, no? So anything that has to do with kung sakali man ay may nabanggit ako or hindi ko na-filter on the discontinued operations, please ignore it for now. Okay? So, ano po yung objective ng NCA-HFS? The non-current asset held for sale. Okay? So, because no class, as we will study later on, you will be able to identify when should we classify a non-current asset that will be held for sale. And when that happens, when the classification criteria is achieved, we should be measuring the asset, no? We should be measuring the non-current asset at the lower of its carrying amount and the fair value less cost to sell. Now dito class, take note lamang po that we will be measuring the asset at the lower of carrying amount and fair value less cost to sell. Siguro by now, no, when you are studying this topic, you have already studied a lot of standards or accounts under your intermediate accounting. So, marami na pong gumugulo sa inyong isipan kung ano nga ba ang aking measurement. Kasi halimbawa, dito meron tayong of carrying amount and fair value less cost to sell. Eh di ba sa inventory meron din tayong lower of cost and net realizable value, NCNRV. Okay, tapos na-encounter natin yung fair value less cost to sell. O meron din ito sa biological asset. Sa ating impairment, no, under PAS 36, meron din tayo nung recoverable amount, which is the higher between what? The fair value less cost to sell and the value in use. Mga ganun, ano? So marami nang gumugulo sa ating isipan, but I hope, no, you try, no, you make an attempt to take note of the differences and similarities of the accounts. Okay? So again, once the company, or once the asset meets the classification criteria for that asset, no, that non-current asset to be classified as held for sale, o i-measure natin at the lower of the carrying amount and fair value less cost to sell. And take note, no, non-current asset, this is not only limited to a property, plant, and equipment. It can be your intangible asset, it can be your investment property. It can be a combination of them or other non-current assets. Kasi nga, non-current asset, hindi naman nakalagay PPE held for sale or intangible assets held for sale. Okay? So, Alam naman po natin ano na yung mga measurement noon, 'di ba? Subsequent measurement ay halimbawa for PPE and intangible assets measured using the cost model or the revaluation model. Okay? So yung carrying amount no, mini-measure natin based on the model that we are using. Okay? Pero dito no, titignan natin yung fair value less cost to sell niya ba no, as compared sa carrying amount mas mababa ba or mas mababa ba yung carrying amount sa fair value less cost to sell. And then subsequently, no, or not subsequently, once we meet the classification criteria, hindi na po natin pwedeng i-depreciate or i-amortize yung asset na yon. So once we classify a non-current asset that will be held that will be hold no for sale, no, we will cease the depreciation or amortization of such asset. Okay? So yan yung isang objective ng standard na ito. And pangalawa, we will present the NCA HFS separately in the statement of financial position. Okay? And ayan, ano? All right. Sabi dito, and the result of discontinued operations, excuse me, to be presented separately in the statement of comprehensive income. But anyway, no, sabi ko nga, hold your horses pagdating sa discontinued operations. Now, ano po ang saklaw ng ating standard na ito? PFRS 5. Okay? So try to remember the standards we have already encountered and discussed a lot of standards. So I hope you don't get confused. Maganda po kasi yan para sa inyong accountant soul na you are familiar with the standards that cover those accounts that you are currently studying. Okay? If you take it by heart, no, madadala nyo po yan pag graduate na kayo at nagtrabaho na kayo. Especially if you become practitioners. Okay. Ang sinasabi po dito sa paragraph number 2 is that yung classification and presentation requirements ng IFRS na ito apply to all sa lahat ng nire-recognize natin na non-current assets at maging yung mga disposal groups. Okay? The measurement requirements of this IFRS apply to all NCA and disposal groups maliban na lamang doon sa mga assets listed in paragraph 5. Okay, so pakita natin mamaya ano ba yung nilalaman ng paragraph 5 kasi exemption po ang mga iyon. Okay? Now, eto pong mga sumusunod ang nakalagay sa paragraph 5 na hindi po mag-a-apply yung IFRS 5 kasi covered po ito ng ibang mga standards. Halimbawa, no, although sa aking mga students na currently nag-aaral po nito, no, hindi nyo pa po siguro na-encounter yung PAS 12 on income tax. Okay? Mayroon kasi tayong mga deferred tax assets. The same, no, yung PAS 19 on employee benefits. Okay? IFRS 9, okay? Whether you are my actual students or not, no, my presumption by now is that you have already studied PFRS 9, yung ating mga financial assets covered by that standard. O eto, no, yung PAS 40, fresh sa pinanggalingan natin prior to this discussion. PAS 41, hindi na siya mainit, no? Pero hindi pa naman siya bahaw. Okay? Subsequent to PAS 2, I have a discussion of PAS 41 on agricultural activities. Okay. And also groups of contracts within the scope of IFRS 17 insurance contracts. And as of the making of this material, wala pa po akong discussion on insurance contracts because this is covered by AFAR. Okay? So, maybe in the future, no, pag na-cover ko na lahat ng FAR topics, tatalo na tayo sa AFAR. Now, assets classified as NC, no, non-current in accordance with PAS 1. Kasi 'di ba? PAS 1 covers the presentation of your financial statements. Nakalagay doon, when do we classify a current asset or a current liability? And kapag hindi po na-meet yung criteria ng current, edi non-current sila. Ang sinasabi po dito, hindi po natin pwedeng i-reclassify ang current as hindi po natin pwedeng i-reclassify ang non-current asset papuntang current asset maliban na lamang if they meet the criteria, no? Until hangga't na-meet na nila yung criteria para i-classify ito as held for sale in accordance with IFRS 5. Okay? Now, assets of a class that an entity would normally regard as non-current that are acquired exclusively with a view to resale shall not be classified as current unless they meet the criteria to be classified as held for sale. Okay? Basta kung hindi po niya na-meet yung criteria for an asset to be classified as held for sale, hindi po natin pwedeng i-reclassify. At momentarily, pag-uusapan naman po natin, ano ba kasi sir itong criteria na ito? Okay, now, class, we are talking about non-current asset held for sale, pero sa standard na ito, it will also apply to a non-current asset or under a disposal group, no? Pag disposal group kasi, more than one asset. Maring madami sila. Tapos, i-dispose. No? Etong standard na ito also covers yung mga non-current asset or disposal group na ika-classify hindi for sale kung hindi for distribution to owners acting in their capacity as owners. Okay? So, if the NCA or disposal group will be distributed sa mga may-ari, okay, edi i-reclassify natin sila. Pero hindi as held for sale, kung hindi held for distribution. Okay? So, I hope malinaw po ito. Now, ito na nga. Ito na yung much-awaited na much-awaited classification criteria. Ito, yung kinulayan ko dalawa po kasi yung ating criteria. Okay, kailan daw natin ika-classify ang non-current asset as held for sale? Okay? Una, kung yung carrying amount ng non-current asset na yon ay mare-recover, syempre, principally through a sale transaction. Kaya nga kasi held for sale. Okay? Instead of it being used in the production or supply of goods or services or for administrative purposes. Okay, so it will be recovered principally through a sale transaction. Ibebenta mo siya. Kaya nga, held for sale. Pangalawa, dapat yung sale ay maging highly probable. Okay? So, dumiretso ako dito, pero take note also, itong pinulahan ko. Because sinasabi dito, yung asset na yan or whether group of assets under a disposal group, it must be available for immediate sale in its present condition. Kung anong itsura niyan, yun na yun, ibebenta mo, available for immediate sale. Pero, it should be subject to terms that are usual and customary. No? Usual transactions in the market. Okay? And that, ayan nga, highly probable dapat. Oh. Sir, when do we say that the sale must be highly probable? O eto yung sumunod na paragraph, Ang sabi sa paragraph 8, para daw yung sale maging highly probable, yung level of management, kung sino man po yung appropriate level of management, dapat meron silang commitment na ibenta yung asset. Okay? May plano dapat na ibenta yung asset at meron silang ginagawa para makapaghanap ng buyer at makompleto yung plano na yon. Kasi hindi naman pwede na meron ka lang intensyon. Dapat you are committed to a plan. So dapat may ginagawa kang plano kung paano mo ito ibebenta, paano ako makakahanap ng buyer, at paano ko mako-complete yung sale. Okay? Further, sabi dito, dapat it should be or it must be actively marketed for sale at a price that is reasonable. Hindi masyadong mababa, Kasi 'di ba, alam mo naman tayo, hindi lang naman mga Pilipino, but if you lower the price compared to your competitors, chances are marami kang ano, ah, buyers, potential buyers. Kasi, uy, ang baba naman ng presyo na ito. Bakit kaya? Sila masyadong mataas, Kung hindi ka naman scam, legit lang naman 'yon, hindi naman reasonable. Okay, so dapat yung presyo kung magkano mo ibebenta yung asset na 'yan, dapat reasonable naman. Okay? In relation to its current fair value. Halimbawa, yung palitan ng isang land ay kunwari yung fair value niyan ngayon ay nasa 1.5 million. Hindi mo naman pwede na ibenta yan at 500,000 because that is unreasonable in relation to its current fair value. Okay? So I hope na naiintindihan ha. In addition, additionally daw, yung sale daw should be expected to qualify for recognition as a completed sale within 1 year from the date of classification. Okay? So dapat ine-expect natin na magka-qualify, as completed sale within 1 year from the date of classification. Halimbawa, as of this reporting date, you are classifying that as NCA HFS. Dapat you are expecting na maibebenta mo yan within the next calendar year if you are following a calendar year. Except as permitted daw by paragraph 9. Maliban na lang, mamaya, susunod naman na yata sa slide. Ano ba itong exception na ito? Okay? And actions required to complete the plan should indicate that, hindi ko yata nagawa ng napula, It is unlikely that significant changes to the plan will be made or that the plan will be withdrawn. Okay? The probability of shareholders' approval should be considered as part of the assessment, whether the sale is highly probable. So yun yung ating conditions, yun yung criteria mo, yung dalawa. And yung last paragraph, yung mahaba-haba na pinag-usapan natin is how do we say that the sale must be highly probable? Okay. Next. Ito na nga yung sinasabi natin, na except as permitted by paragraph 9. And let me focus on this one. Sabi kasi dito, events or circumstances may extend the period to complete the sale beyond 1 year. Kasi sabi natin, for it to be highly probable, dapat you should complete the sale beyond after 1 year, Pero except as permitted by paragraph 9. Ito, paano sir? If it is beyond 1 year, okay lang ba? So, when do we allow an extension? Okay? Sabi dito, events or circumstances may extend. And it does not, yung extension na yon does not preclude, okay, to ulitin natin an extension of the period required to complete a sale does not preclude an asset from being classified as held for sale. Okay? So, okay lang naman. We will still classify it as held for sale kung may extension tayo if the cause of the extension or if the cause of the delay ay hindi kontrolado ni company or ni entity beyond the entity's control. And there is sufficient evidence naman that the entity remains committed to its plan to sell. So, yung ating pinag-uusapan dito na dapat the sale must be completed within 1 year, pwede naman ma-extend provided that the extension or the delay is outside your control and you are still committed to sell the asset. O kaya mamaya meron tayong discussion on present value kasi dahil dito pag inallow ng paragraph 9. Okay. So, how about this one? Non-current assets acquired with a view to subsequently dispose it. Meron kang biniling non-current asset, pero ang purpose nun is para i-dispatcha mo din. Kapag merong nangyaring ganyan, Okay? Ika-classify mo yung asset na binili mo, even if it is non-current, no? Magiging non-current asset held for sale yan at the acquisition date, kung kailan mo siya binili. Only if the 1-year requirement is met. Okay? Maliban na lang kung permitted ni paragraph 9 and highly probable siya. Okay? Yan. Okay, so yun po ano. Next. Ano to, sir? Galing na tayo dyan, ah. Anong gusto mong tukuyin dyan? Eto. Kasi 'di ba, at the end of the reporting date, we are preparing our financial statements. Eh sir, papaano kung yung criteria for us to recognize a non-current asset ay na-meet after the reporting period? Eh 'di ba, pag may mga events after the reporting period, eh di sinasaklaw ito ng past 10 events after the reporting period. So anong sinasabi dito? Kapag daw yung criteria ay na-meet after the reporting period, hindi po natin ika-classify as non-current asset held for sale yon. So as of the reporting date, kung ano yung original classification niyan, kung PPE yan, kung intangible asset, kung investment property, or anumang klaseng NCA, no, provided hindi kasama doon sa mga exemptions kanina, as is yan. Kasi yung criteria ay na-meet mo after the reporting period. Okay? However, when those criteria are met after the reporting period but before the authorization of the financial statements, kailangan mong i-disclose. Ito yung tinatawag natin ng mga non-adjusting events. Kasi 'di ba, under past 10, ang mga events after the reporting period mo ay ika-classify into adjusting or non-adjusting. Ito, under PFRS 5, if the criteria are met after, no, and before the authorization, it requires disclosure. So, sinasabi din natin, hindi mo kailangang i-classify as of the reporting date, kaya siya non-adjusting event. Nakukuha po ba? So, I hope we are clear on that. Now, sinabi natin kanina, pasok din po sa standard na ito yung mga held for distribution to owners. So, yung ating recognition criteria, yung classification criteria natin, parehas din. Except that syempre, hindi mo siya ibebenta. Kung hindi, it will be distributed. So, para ma-classify natin as non-current asset held for distribution, o kaya yung disposal group held for distribution, the asset must be available, hindi for immediate sale, kung hindi, for immediate distribution in their present condition, and yung distribution is highly probable. So you see, the same lang naman. Pinalitan lang natin yung wording kasi hindi naman natin ito ibebenta, i-distribute natin ito sa mga may-ari. Okay? So eto no, mga naka-underline, similar doon sa ating consideration for the probability of the sale to occur. Pero distribution lang no, yung kino-consider natin dito, hindi natin siya ibebenta. All right. Now, sir, papaano yung mga non-current assets na i-abandon? Paano ba pag sinabing i-abandon? Hindi mo na gagamitin. O anong gagawin ko ngayon? Yung mga non-current assets ay hindi po natin pwedeng i-classify as held for sale kung i-abandon yan. Kasi nga, yung intention ng management ay i-abandon, hindi naman ibebenta. So, hindi po pasok yun sa PFRS 5. Okay? Kasi, i-abandon mo siya eventually o gagamitin mo pa naman siya hanggat hindi mo siya i-abandon. So, mananatili siya sa standard kung saan siya nakapasok. Okay? However daw, no, the entity shall present the result and cash flow of the disposal group as discontinued operations. No, yun yung i-discontinue mo at the date on which it ceases to be used. But again, for discontinued operations, we will discuss this separately. Okay? Kasama na daw po dito yung mga gagamitin, non-current assets or yung mga disposal groups na i-abandon, include yung mga gagamitin, to the end of their economic life or i-close rather than ibebenta. So eto naman maintindihan naman natin kasi hindi naman highfalutin yung words, straightforward naman ito, held for sale, held for distribution, or i-abandon, or gagamitin. So, I think there's no complication on that one. Now, sabi sa paragraph 14, hindi po natin i-account yung non-current asset na temporarily taken out of use as if it had been abandoned. Temporary lang naman, wala naman po tayong final say na hindi. Ano na yan? Executory na hindi ko na siya gagamitin, na totally i-abandon ko. Pansamantala lang naman. Okay? Now, how do we measure? Sabi natin kanina at nakalagay doon sa objective ba yun or sa scope? Objective ba? We will measure it at the lower of the carrying amount and fair value less cost to sell. Okay? LCA, FV, LCS, parang ganun, di ba? Kasi yung lower of cost and net realizable value, LCNRV. O kung carrying amount, CA, tapos FV, LCS. Okay, although hindi naman uso yung shortcut, yung ano na yun, acronym na yun, ano. Iniisip ko lang ngayon. Okay. So, ayan. Na-discuss natin kanina. So, syempre, pag within 1 year, walang problema. But if it covers more than 1 year, and that is permitted under paragraph 9, o syempre, we will get the fair value, present value, as the cost to sell. Okay? No, cost to sell at the present value. And any increase, no, shall be presented as a financing cost. So, we understand it naman, ano, mga present value computations, na siguro ang kailangan natin eventually ay yung pagpa-practice ng mga problems. Okay. So, an entity daw shall measure an NCA or disposal group held for distribution. Siyempre, hindi mo naman pwede gamitin yung fair value less cost to sell. Palitan natin yung cost to sell. Fair value less cost to distribute. So, ganun lang naman siya. Magkano yung cost to para i-distribute yon? Yun yung katumbas nitong cost to sell. Okay? So, that's it. Papaano naman po ang mga impairment losses and reversals? Okay, syempre, non-current assets po ito. This is under the scope of Class 36, impairment of assets. Now, sabi dito, we should recognize, no, the entity shall recognize an impairment loss for any initial or subsequent write-down of the asset to fair value less cost to sell to the extent that it has not been recognized. Okay. Hindi po, sabi dito, we can recognize impairment loss reversal. Okay? Pero hindi in excess of the cumulative impairment loss. Take note, not in excess of the cumulative impairment loss that has been recognized. Okay, papaano ba yon? Later on, meron tayong illustration. So for now, pause muna tayo, no? We will try to, kung sakali man na medyo bitin yung ating illustration dito, don't worry, I'll find, no, some actual problems na may kino-cover na mga reversal of impairment loss sa PFRS 5. Pero syempre, no, chances are is that I will be presenting it, no, sa mga face-to-face classes. But probably in the future, when my means permit me to do so, baka makapag-incorporate din naman tayo ng mga madami-daming problem solving dito sa ating video lectures on intermediate accounting, particularly for this topic. Okay. No depreciation for NCA HFS. Sabi kanina, hindi po natin i-depreciate or i-amortize, no? Habang kinaklasify po natin yan as such. Pero yung mga interest and other expenses attributable to the liabilities sa isang disposal group, no, na classified as held for sale shall continue to be recognized. All right? So tigil depreciation, tigil amortization. O, eto na, example illustrative problem tayo. So on June 30, 2022, we have the Maligaya Enterprise, no, that decided na dispatcha na natin yung isang planta natin sa Leyte. Magkano yan sa libro? 5 million. Pero meron siyang accumulated depreciation na 2 million. As of June, yung accumulated depreciation is as of December 31. Pero take note, as of June 30, yung decision to dispose. And from December 31, 2021 hanggang June 30, wala pa po tayong depreciation. No? So for 2022, hindi pa nagde-depreciate. And that is understandable, no? Kasi maaring may mga company kasi na yung policy nila is to depreciate at the end of the year, no? Maliban na lang for purposes of interim reporting, kailangan nilang mag-prepare ng adjustments. So dito, no, hindi pa sila nagde-depreciate. Pero syempre, for June 30, no, i-reclassify natin provided that this manufacturing plant classifies as held for sale based on the criteria, di catch up tayo ng depreciation from January 1 to June 30, which is half year. Yung depreciation daw annual is applied 400,000. Okay? Now, the company outsourced the operations of the plant and undertook all the necessary actions to be able to classify the asset as held for sale. And as of June 30, ang estimate ni company is that maibebenta niya yung plant at its fair value na 2.5 after incurring estimated selling cost of 200,000. So may information about fair value less cost to sell tayo dito. On December 31, the plant had not been sold. Hindi pa naibebenta as of year-end ng 2022. But the market conditions indicated no, that there had been an increase in the fair value to 2.7 million. Tapos, ayan, naibenta na on February 1 for 2.75 at nagbayad po si company ng disposal cost 220,000. So let us analyze, study, and prepare the related entries for each of the related dates. Starting with June 30, 2022. So focus muna tayo dito sa paragraph na ito. Meron tayong 5 million, may 2 million, may 400. So anong gagawin natin? Since naintindihan nyo naman yung ating past 16, I hope so, no? I'm assuming na naiintindihan, we will have to depreciate. Siyempre, debit ka depreciation expense and credit ka ng accumulated depreciation, no? Hindi natin ito kinikredit directly sa asset. Since half year lang naman ito, di 400,000 divided by 2. Di debit and credit 200,000 respectively. So ito easy entry. Next, dito naman tayo on June 30. Anong gagawin natin dyan? On June 30, i-reclassify natin as non-current asset held for sale, and then we will check whichever is lower between the carrying amount and the fair value less cost to sell. Okay, 2.5 minus 200, ang fair value less cost to sell mo ay 2.3. Tama ba? 2.5 minus 200. Paki-take note, sa scratch paper or kung saan man, habang kayo ay nag-aaral nito, sulat nyo muna. FVLCS 2.3 million, 2.5 minus 2. Magkano na ang ating carrying amount as of June 30? Magkano yon? 5 million minus what? 2 million minus 200 yung catch up. So, 2.2 ang binawas sa 500, meron tayong 2.8 na carrying amount. Sulatin nyo, carrying amount 2.8. Sino ang mas mababa sa dalawa? 2.3 or 2.8? Siyempre, mas mababa yung fair value less cost to sell. Di i-measure natin at this amount. Sa libro ko, 2.8 ang carrying amount. Anong gagawin ko? Dito papasok yung i-consider natin yung impairment loss. Okay? So, ayan siya ngayon. Kikita ba? Then, kasama na po dito sa entry yung reclassification. Okay, naka-compound na po ito. Kung gusto nyo kasi, pwede naman, no, na separate, pero pinag-isa na natin. Yung plant held for sale mo, take note plant held for sale na siya. Nireclassify natin from the Leyte plant, which is a property, plant, and equipment. And syempre, i-recognize natin yung PPE, i-recognize natin ito at the cost of 5 million. Eh meron tayong accumulated depreciation as of June 30, 2022. 2.2 na kasama yung 200 kanina, no? So ito yung tatanggalin mo din kasi ni-recognize mo yung principal, yung mga nakakabit na accounts, tanggalin mo din. Now, ang plant held for sale mo is the lower of cost between 2.8, lower of carrying amount na 2.8 and the fair value less cost to sell na 2.3. E di dapat i-measure mo siya at the 2.3 million. Meron tayong impairment loss na 500 difference nung CA at saka FVLCS. So, does it make sense? So, let me know kung sakaling nalilito ka dito. Now, ito yung reference natin kung sakali man para ma-strengthen, ma-reinforce natin yung foundation that the entity shall measure at the lower of carrying amount and FVLCS and that we should recognize impairment loss for any initial or subsequent write-down. Okay. Now, dito na tayo sa kailan ito nangyari? December 31, 2022. Pero kinapi lang natin itong estimated selling cost. May reason naman kasi tayo dyan. On December 31, the plant had not been sold. But market condition indicated that yung fair value increases to 2.7. Hindi pa nabebenta, no? So, yung fair value consider natin from 2.5 naging 2.7. Ang estimated selling cost mo, wala namang info na may increase sa estimate. As is tayo dito. So, para makuha natin yung fair value less cost to sell, 2.7 ka ngayon sa fair value, hindi na yung 2.5. Minus 200. So, ang FVLCS mo ngayon ay 2.5. Tama ba? Now, compare natin sa carrying amount. Magkano carrying amount mo? 2 point, magkano? 2.8 or magde-depreciate tayo? Class, mananatili tayo sa 2.8. Tama ba? Make up your mind. So, tignan ninyo ito. Ang carrying amount mo ay mananatili sa 2.8. Bakit? Siyempre, classify natin as held for sale. Ano yung isa natin doon sa kailangan ninyong tandaan? Depreciation ceases from the classification date. So, mananatili siya at 2.8. No? Hanggat held for sale yan. Nakuha ba? Compare mo sa 2.5. 2.8 versus 2.5, sino ang mas mababa? 2.5 pa rin. Pero bakit meron tayong impairment loss na reversal dito? Kasi nanggaling tayo ng 2.3, umakyat sa 2.5, i-reverse natin yung impairment loss. Okay po ba? Pero again, wala po tigil depreciation tayo Pakitandaan po nun, baka malito in the future. Alright. So, eto siya. Yung gain ay hindi po pwedeng lumagpas sa cumulative impairment na na-recognize. 500,000 naman yung impairment loss natin, so pasok pa rin naman. Okay? Ayan, as of December 31, 2022, pag tinanong kayo, magkano yung carrying amount ng plant held for sale? Di 2.5 kasi mas mababa siya sa 2.8. Okay? The 2.5 is your fair value less cost to sell kasi yung carrying amount niya ay 2.8 when we reclassified it. So this is your lower amount. In the statement of comprehensive income mo, okay, since may impairment loss ka na ni-recognize noong June 30, In the same year, may reversal ka na 200, edi yung net na impairment loss mo ay 300,000. Okay? Neto na yan kasi meron kang impairment loss 500. Nag-gain on gain on impairment reversal ka 200. Neto mo 300. Okay? Now, on February 1, nabenta na siya for 2.75 less any disposal cost of 220. Paano yung journal entry mo dyan? And magkano yung i-recognize mo na plant held for sale? Is it the 2.5 or is it the 2.8? Okay? Ito yung journal entry natin. The plant held for sale, syempre, ay yung lower amount. So, ito yung nakalibro, 2.5. Naibenta mo siya at magkano? 2.75 binawasan ng 220, that is 2,530. Di meron kang gain on sale of late employment, no? 30,000. Kasi yung proceeds na tanggap mo na nakaneto ay mas mababa. Okay? Tama po ba? Ayan. So, there you go. That is your journal entry. All right. The difference is considered as your gain or loss. In the profit or loss section ng Statement of Comprehensive Income kung kailan naganap yung bentahan. So, I guess this is not new to us. All right. So, I hope this clears out some of any questions you have in mind kasi syempre, for the concepts to be appreciated, we need problems. Now, let us modify the case. 2.7 to, di ba, originally. But what if gawin nating 3.2 million? Anong mangyayari dyan? Naging 3.2 siya. At pag kinuha mo yung fair value less cost to sell, 3 million na. 3.2 minus 200, 3 million. Yung carrying amount mo magkano? 2.8. Excuse me. So, anong gagawin natin? Paano yung reversal? 2.3 versus magkano? Ayan. So, you can pause the video para if you want, you can solve it on your own muna. But here is the solution. Kunwari, nakapag-solve ka na, na-pause mo yung video, play it. Here is our reversal. Okay? Class, tignan po ninyo ito. No? 3.2 minus 200. 3 million siya. Ang dating fair value less cost to sell mo ay 2.3. Ano ang difference? 700,000. Tama ba? 700,000. Ang carrying amount mo, 2.8 million. Siyempre, mas mababa sa 3 million at 2.8 yung 2.8. Tandaan po ninyo, we classify the asset and we measure it at the lower of the carrying amount and fair value. Natural, mas mababa dito ngayon yung carrying amount na 2.8. So, yung reversal ng impairment loss mo, hindi po pwedeng aabot ng 3 million. Okay? Hanggang magkano? Hanggang dito lamang po tayo sa 2.8. So from 2.3, akyat tayo ng 2.8 kasi that is the lower. O di 500,000 lang. Kaya nga, eto babalikan ulit natin. Anong sabi dyan? Again, for any subsequent increase in fair value less cost to sell, but not in excess of the cumulative impairment loss previously recognized. Previously, meron kang 500, i-reverse mo siya ngayon, because of this increase in the fair value. But not in excess of that loss. Kasi nga, syempre, lower of carrying amount tayo, lalagpas ka na, so magiging carrying amount mo na 2.8 yung ilalagay natin sa libro, hindi yung 3 million. If you know what I mean. Kasi parang ang labo ng pagkakasabi ko doon. Okay? So I hope naintindihan. Ito, reclassification as held for use. Paano, sir, kung biglang, nagbago yung desisyon ng management, hindi ko na siya ibebenta? gagamitin ko na lang ulit for continuing use. No, pero hindi intentional na kunwari lang held for sale pero at the middle of the year or at the end of before the end of the year, i-reclassify natin. No, dapat meron talagang change in intention. Okay? Oh, if the entity has classified down, no, the asset as held for sale or held for distribution, pero yung criteria no longer met na. Kasi hindi na highly probable. Sabihin na natin beyond the control of the entity nawalan ka ng market or hindi na matutuloy yung bentahan, nawalan ka ng buyer. O edi you will cease to classify the asset as held for sale or kaya naman held for distribution. Siyempre, pag nag-cease to classify tayo, i-measure mo yung non-current asset, eto no, at the lower of. Eto, take note ha. Babalik mo siya sa kanyang classification at the lower of, ayan, carrying amount. Take note ha, eto take note. Careful tayo dito. Before the asset was classified as held for sale or held for distribution, adjusted for any depreciation, amortization, or revaluation that would have been recognized had the asset not been classified. So, parang kung tinuloy ko yung original na carrying amount, no, magkano na dapat siya ngayon as of the date when the entity ceases to classify as such? Nakuha ba? So, parang doon sa sa PPE natin yung may kino-consider natin yung mga revaluation increase, decrease, impairment loss, impairment reversal sa mga depreciable asset. We always take note of the original, di ba? Kung ginagawa natin ang graph para maintindihan. So ganito din. Kung dati, held for use siya or held for distribution tapos hindi mo na na-meet yung criteria, edi kung original siya na PPE at tine-depreciate ko siya, magkano na dapat ngayon yung carrying amount? So, ko-consider ko yan. Tapos, ko-compare ko sa recoverable amount at the date of the subsequent decision. Yun yung i-compare natin. Magkano na dapat yung carrying amount nito kung hindi ko siya ni-reclassify as held for sale? Magkano ngayon ang recoverable amount niyan? Okay? So, that lower amount na. Okay. Oh, example, galing pa rin doon sa ating Maligaya Enterprise. Now, suppose na that actually ito yung ating dinagdag. Ito original po 'yan. Suppose that the asset held for sale. Kasi 'di ba sinabi natin na naibenta siya dito February 1. Eh papaano kung hindi yan naibenta? And then on June 30, the management changed its plan of sale and decided na gamitin na lang sa operations. Hindi ko na ibenta, hindi na tuloy. Oh, at the time of June 30, yung recoverable amount, which is the fair value less cost to sell, was 2.15 million. Of course, no, sa past 36, when we are talking of impairment loss, no, meron tayo, di ba, lower of the, tinitignan natin yung recoverable amount and in the determination of the recoverable amount, we compare the higher between the fair value less cost to sell and the value in use. So dito, yung recoverable amount niya ay yung fair value less cost to sell and that amounts to 2.15 million. Okay. Now, lower amount, no? Kung tinuloy mo siyang i-depreciate, magkano yan ngayon? Take note of my notes. Yung carrying amount mo before reclassification as of June 30, 2.8. Kung dinepreciate mo yan ng additional 1 year, meron kang plus 400,000. So therefore, yung updated carrying amount mo dapat ay 2.4 as of June 30, 2023. Tama ba? Ang carrying amount no on the date of reclassification to held for sale ay 2.8. kung tinuloy mo yang i-depreciate, okay, nasa 2.4 na yan ngayon. Yun yung gagamitin mo in comparing what? Where? Okay? Etong 2.4 million. Ay, sorry. Ito yung gagamitin mo and comparing it with 2.15 million, which is lower. Edi yung 2.15 million. Class, no, as of December 31, 2022, ang nasa libro mo, 2.5. Eh, ibababa mo siya ngayon at the 2.15 million. So, anong gagawin? Ito ha, nilagay ko lang dyan para ma-remind kayo. Medyo, no, siguro nakakalito na ito po para sa iba. Okay? Now, ito na yung magiging entries mo. From 2.5, because ito yung nakalibro. Tandaan nyo, kung ano yung nakalibro, kailangan natin yon i-consider, no? Kung sakaling may impairment loss. Eh, malamang may impairment loss tayo, pero yung impairment loss na yon is the difference between what is in the book, the carrying amount in the book. And by the carrying amount, what I mean is the lower between the carrying amount and the fair value less cost to sell. And nagkataon lamang na yung 2.5 is the fair value less cost to sell, di ba? Okay? Now, based on, ano to ha, as of, di ba, yung December 31. Okay? Now, bababa mo siya ngayon sa 2.15, edi meron kang impairment loss. Tama? 350,000. Binawasan mo yung plant held for sale. Siyempre, hindi mo yan pwede i-credit dyan sa accumulated amortization or sorry, accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment loss kasi held for sale yan. Tandaan natin, when we classify the asset as held for sale, it ceases to depreciate. No, pero kung may impairment loss, edi we will impair the asset. Kaya ito na yung amount niya. Now, syempre, i-reclassify mo na siya. Ayan. If the Leyte plant will be returned to its original cost na 5 million. Tapos, dapat 2.15 ang carrying amount niya ngayon. Edi yung accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment loss mo should be accounted for as 2.85 million. Ibabalik kasi natin sa PPE. Pero syempre, meron kang carrying amount na 2.15, edi yung accumulated depreciation and impairment loss mo 2.85 na. Okay? I hope this is clear. Class, pa-pause na lang ng video, try to appreciate, try to process it. Kung sakaling medyo naglalag ang brain cells mo up on this point in time. All right? So, presentation and disclosure, since konti lang naman ito, no? Pero syempre, except for discontinued operations at yung may disclosure doon sa continuing operations eh. So, sama ko na dito sa presentation ko. Kasi sa intangible, sa investment property, no, hindi ko na yon diniscuss. Kasi medyo may kahabaan and I refer you to the standard. Or kung nakasama naman sa libro, edi discuss sa libro or basahin sa libro. Ipe-present daw natin, okay, ang, syempre, in terms of presentation, non-current asset held for sale is separate, no, from other assets. Separate from other liabilities kung sa mga disposal groups na may mga liabilities. At yung liabilities na yon shall not be offset. Okay? Tapos, no, ipe-present natin separately yung mga cumulative income or expense recognized, no? Relating to a non-current asset or disposal group classified as held for sale, kung meron man. All right. For disposal group na newly acquired, no, subsidiary that meets the criteria to be classified as held for sale on acquisition, disclosure of the major classes of assets and liabilities is not required. Okay? An entity shall not reclassify or represent amounts presented for non-current assets, no, or yung sa mga disposal groups, no, yung assets and liabilities covered in the statement of financial position for prior periods to reflect the classification. Okay? So hindi po natin ano 'no, wala tayong retrospective application. So therefore, kung ano sila before, gano'n na 'yon. Kung kailan yung classification para maging held for sale siya or disposal group 'no, or held for, distribution, 'yun lang. Wag mo nang balikan yung mga prior periods para i-reflect yung classification. Kasi okey, wala naman tayong mga changes in accounting policies dito. Change in classification po ito na prospective yung application. So, yung presentation niya, hindi mababago yung prior periods. Okay. The entity shall disclose the following in the notes. Okay? Description ng asset or disposal group. Description ng facts and circumstances. Gain or loss recognized. If applicable, no, yung reportable segment. Pag-uusapan po natin in the future, no, I will be preparing some video lectures on operating segments na kasi as of the time I am preparing this, wala pa akong materials or separate video lecture of my own, no, on operating segments. Okay, anyway, sa ngayon hindi niyo pa naman yan poproblemahin, soon, okay? Saka niyo naisipin yung standard na yan. Disclose din po natin in the period of decision to change, no? Description ng facts and circumstances leading to that decision, ano, for the period and any prior periods presented. So, there you go. Hanggang dito lamang po muna. Akala ko meron pang sumunod eh. But wala na po. So, maraming salamat. Sana po ay nabusog kayo ng panibagong kaalaman. Okay, esopagus on PFRS 5. Maraming salamat. Hanggang dito po muna ulit tayo sa video lecture na ito. I'll see you around for the next video lectures to come. Thank you. Bye-bye.